A person like Gurudev itself is rare. One in a century they come. A person like Swami Tapovan Maharaj or Swami Shivananda, if he has gone to them and surrendered, what must be them? When I look Gurudev as like to me, he is like an avatar. And he called Shankara spiritual general. The word used is fittest spiritual general for Hinduism.
Very old clip that we had found somewhere and we had digitally kind of, little bit restored it. This clip suddenly came and it became a part and it made it so powerful.
Ram Janmabhoomi, Krishna Janmabhoomi, Kashi, these are not mosques for prayer. They were all victory monuments.
And it takes a lot of courage to say
Imagine
this.
Not all were ready to talk even at that time. All were worried
Nobody
what
talked.
will be the positioning. And he comes, the first statement to the press conference, I condone the car sevaks.
Amazing.
Make them do what you want, but the way in which they like doing it. Full stop. You and I take birth to exhaust our vasanas, desires. Otherwise we won't take birth. It has to be, we have to teach the child moderation. So brahmacharya means not just celibacy. Brahmacharya means moderation. When you tell them, listen, this is okay. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Kama, you have to enjoy life. You're born to enjoy life. Celebrate life, but celebrate it in such a way that it doesn't hit you hard.
So Swamiji, after you came to know about Acharya Shankar, through Gurudev, you read his books, his works, his commentary. What was the impression you had, after going through all this?
First, simple, as a young, like a teenager or early adult, youth, 20, I was all admiration for Gurudev, like looking up to him, your ideal. And that man admires somebody. You understand then, like this person is admiring him, obviously, what it must be, because a person like Gurudev itself is rare. One in a century they come. And if he admires a person like Swami Tapovan Maharaj or Swami Shivananda, if he has gone to them and surrendered, what must be them? And this man teaches the books of Advaita. And he lived an Advaitin life. I know Gurudev personally. He was a 100% Advaitic sannyasi. And he lived that Advaita life in all. So for me it was like too fascinating that a mind like this admires Shankara and what he must be. When I look Gurudev as like to me, he is like an avatar. I personally, my connector would be like, that's the level of awe I have about him. And he called Shankara spiritual general, or fittest spiritual general. The word used is fittest spiritual general for Hinduism. So it's obviously like you surrender, you prostrate directly. And then as you mature, first it was all this kind of an admiration. After you mature, you understand that this is the philosophy someone has explained so well, which you are living. And at every turn of your life, whether it is visiting a temple or whether it is a puja you do or it is the book you read, Shankara's signature is all over. So there's a sense of gratitude. And that what Swamiji said, what Gurudev said as the unfinished book, will the nation recognize Shankara that way and give it a national holiday? Because he should be adored as a national hero. See, we have national heroes, and Shankara should be on the top.
Absolutely.
So I think someday that would happen.
We will make it happen.
That's what the unfinished book,
Absolutely.
the book would get there.
I think, things are moving in that direction. You are already, we are working, on a project to make a film on Shankara. When did this idea came to you that a, biopic film, a very powerful film should be made?
See, we made a movie. My first experience is that On a Quest. It is the life of Swami Chinmayananda. Gurudev's life, we made a quest. It's actually a love. You understand? That whole movie is an expression of your love. So I used to write plays. I've run plays on Subramanya Bharati. I've done plays in 2002, I think, 2 or 3. I wrote a play called 15th August 2047. And now 2047 is getting as a big dream. But in 2002 we wrote what India should be. So I had this hobbies of writing plays. I've run a play on death, done a play on Surya, 108. What is the glory, why we worship Surya. So there are many plays that were on Gana Ganga. So that was, I had a flair for it. That experience made me do on a movie On a Quest, a biopic on Swami Chinmayananda.
Oh, okay.
On a Quest is a biopic on Gurudev.
Yeah, correct.
Swami Chinmayananda. So I brought his life out there, read the script for it, and made a movie. Everyone in that movie are the first timers, and everybody was almost in-house. Even the director was a student who studied in our school.
Yeah, I know that.
So
very nice.
We created that, and the impact of it, of that movie across the Chinmaya Mission circles were fascinating. And it became a very powerful tool for anyone if they have to introduce someone to Chinmaya Mission or to Gurudev. You just play the movie, they get
Beautiful.
it. Yeah. So we have been doing this in various camps, we play this up. So the movie by itself made a tremendous impact. So I saw the result already. Then when Ekatma Dham was coming up, they were first thinking of a short documentary. That was the discussion they had. A kind of a documentary which we should do for 15-20 minutes, probably play it in IMAX. To create something like IMAX in Omkareshwar, in Ekatma Dham, and make a movie for 15 minutes. Then I spoke to Manish Pandey and others. I said, Manish, a full-fledged movie would be the best tribute, because we can take Shankara to even Hollywood.
Sure,
It can't be only with India.
Absolutely.
We should only, the people living in geographical Bharat should not own it. He should be admired everywhere. So it has to be made a full feature film with a good team by which we can take this across. So someday it has to reach the global audience. So luckily everybody in Ekatma Dham said, yeah, we agree. And then we said, let's do it. So On a Quest was the main foundation to confidently aspire that we can make a movie which can reach to the global audience.
Amazing. You know, your experience with Gurudev and, your life journey. I feel as if, Gurudev is here to bless us in this moment. Great thought. If you remember, I will tell you, an anecdote, what happened with us, and you were a part of that, because what a blessing is. If you remember, before the inauguration of Ram Mandir, I was making a music video, on the entire Ram Mandir movement. You remember that?
Correct.
And everything, culminating into this, grand, with Yogi Ji, in the grand inauguration of the temple. And just before that, I don't know, what a pleasant coincidence, I was, this video was almost ready. And I was in my Kashi studio and I was finalizing this. And suddenly, I saw, and my team, they saw a clip of Gurudev, a very old clip that we had found somewhere, and we had digitally kind of, little bit restored it. And he talking about, Ram Mandir and Kashi Vishwanath, and Krishna Janmabhoomi. You remember, in his own style, these are victory monuments, And I said, wow. And at that last one, I said, no, wait. We must have this, And it was his grace, that clip gave so much power and dynamism to that video. His presence, his words, and that, short clip that we had put, of him. And I remember soon I had shared that with you also. And then we met at Ayodhya on the inauguration day, So that was the grace, out of nowhere. I mean, because those were all real shots that we had shot, this clip suddenly came and it became a part, and it made it so powerful.
Ram Janmabhoomi, Krishna Janmabhoomi, Kashi, these are not mosques for prayer. They were all victory monuments.
I was there when he actually spoke that.
Oh,
he was talking to the Yuva Kendra members in Mumbai in the year 91. Okay, on 26th or 92 January 26th, one of those days. It was 26th January, that I know. It was being addressed to the members of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, Mumbai. We were all studying in Sandipani. I was a brahmachari that time, in white clothes. I was present in that hall when he spoke to the youngsters. And to unearth it was like, it was someone recorded, it went and we were not. So it took a lot of time and I knew I heard this, it should be somewhere. So we went around searching and all that, and finally we managed to unearth it from different sources, got it. And then I sent it to Swami Vijnanananda.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, and he said this should definitely reach you.
Then he sent it to me.
That's how it came to you.
Okay, I see.
And it's like
small world.
Yeah, it's such.
Oh, I see.
And it came to you on the right time, and that became viral.
Yeah. Right time, right moment.
Yes, and he was very clear why we should have a temple built there, and they were not even places of worship earlier. They were standing there as monuments of arrogance, towers of shame. To insult you, it's their victory monuments, remove it. An oppressor comes and keeps it as a victory monument. So Gurudev was a nationalist and he was for the temple, very clearly. Yeah.
Swamiji...
But that was one moment. After that, I knew his involvement in Ram Mandir. The first, second, third VHP meetings which happened for Ram Mandir, he was presiding those meetings and brought it up. And so the senior members of VHP or the senior members of RSS, those who were there in 1960s and 70s, 80s, they would all know like his connection with these two organizations, and it was nice that one of the things he said and he went, which actually happened and we could witness it.
Good you brought this up, Swamiji, because I was just about to ask you this. I think amongst so much of the greatest contributions that Gurudev made, and the impact that he made, globally, not only for Bharat or for, the Bharati people, one of the greatest thing, his contribution is, that he was one of the founders of Vishwa Hindu Parishad.
Correct.
And which is such a powerful organization. It's so important, for the Hindu identity. With whom you have been associated. I have been blessed to be work with them. Can you tell us how VHP was founded, and how this thing all started with Gurudev, and how it went further, a little bit about their journey.
Somewhere Gurudev had a lecture series in Amritsar, and then he came to Delhi and he wrote an article that the Hindu diaspora across the world should come together. That came in one of our monthly magazines. Golwalkar Guruji, he and Gurudev were good friends. So he read that and he said, he kept that in mind. And somebody from West Indies came once because he was trying to build a temple there, and the temple was not allowed, and he has to reclaim a piece of land from the sea and then build a temple for the Hindus. And that guy was expecting support from India. So it is in these backgrounds that Golwalkar wrote to Gurudev or sent somebody to meet him saying we should look at bringing up something together. So Gurudev said yes, we should do it at the earliest, and it was done on Krishna Jayanti in 64. Now like 40 years, 64, 60 years ago in our ashram Sandipani. Golwalkar and Gurudev came together. Apte and few others were there. All came and they said we should have this organization which will reach out to the Hindu diaspora globally and take up issues related to the Hindus. Some places we are suppressed, some places we are misguided, some places we don't have our own rights, the temples are not under our control, various Hindu issues that it has to be approached collectively. So all of us have to unite, and so that's the vision of bringing Virat Hindu together. Bring all of them together, and that's how that was formed. It's a great initiative which led to a even bigger movement, and obviously RSS and VHP have been very important organizations in preserving what we have today. So, and Gurudev was in all awe about them. about these people. He used to call RSS workers as white-clothed sannyasis.
Oh,
That's how he called them. They are all white-clothed sannyasis and had utmost respect. And he was, the last trust meeting, what I heard from Vijnananandji was, Gurudev was part of VHP. The last trust meeting attended was somewhere in January 1993. So they have the minutes, Gurudev's signature and all that. So he was there for VHP always, supporting them.
And as you said, subsequently VHP played such an important role in uniting the Hindus, and the greatest contribution was the Ram Mandir movement, They were, at the crux of it.
Yeah, I have read some fascinating letters and press releases. At one point he was telling why VHP is slow, they should get it fast. So that's the level he was pushing VHP to do it. Ram Mandir particularly.
Swami Vijnananand, when I was making a film on the Ram Mandir movement, he said, some tapes are lying, those were the VHS tapes, And he said, these are some VHP archives, and I said, just take a look, if you want. So, some of them were still, we could, just take out some bits and bytes, from there. When I looked, it was like amazing to look back, that how the Ram Mandir movement, it started and it gathered momentum, and how, eventually it led to, the building construction of the Ram Mandir this year that we witnessed ourselves. These are some amazing, priceless contributions of Gurudev and, the organization that he formed.
Do you know Bharat was made victim of conspiracies, censorship, and ideological subversions? We all have suffered a lot. Let's end it now. We bring to you Prachyam, an unapologetic video platform for Hindus. Protect your family from false narratives about Bharat. Documentaries, classes, shows that you will not find on YouTube.
Prachyam.
Give power to the Hindu voice for the cost of one coffee. Subscribe now at prachyam.com.
On December 6th, 92, when the structure was pulled down, Gurudev was not in Bharat, he was outside. He came back first week of Jan, and the first press conference which he had, first statement he told the press was, I condone the car sevaks. For what they did is really nice, I am with them.
And it takes a lot of courage to say
Imagine
this.
not all were ready to talk even at that time. All were worried
Nobody
what will
talked.
be the positioning. And he comes, the first statement to the press conference. To the press he said, on landing, first statement is, I condone the car sevaks. See, with, those who have met Gurudev, he was synonymous with fearlessness. Nirbhaya. Brahmana santu nirbayaha. A wise man cannot have fear. And he was like that. And his fearlessness was contagious. You are around with him, it will rub into you. Because living in fear is not living life. That's slavery, that's bondage. You have to walk fear-free. And he was. So he won't mince words where he has to come out and he would say that the temple has to be built there. And whatever Karsevaks did, I appreciate it. Open, fearless. And that was a big statement, big encouragement. When not many were ready to even open their mouth, a towering personality like Swami Chinmayananda standing there and saying, boys, I am with you. What you guys did is fascinating. I am with you. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, amazing. I have read his statement, what he had made,
Yeah.
And I think you had sent me a clip also of him, So I remember that, yeah. Swamiji, with the Gurudev's vision and with his grace and with his blessings, this amazing, huge organization called Chinmaya Mission was founded, I would like you to take us through, the vision of Gurudev, the mission, which it is, what kind of activities you do in Bharat and globally around the world. How many people are there part of this mission? If you can just tell us more about all this.
Like I said in the beginning of our discussion, that we cater to all age groups. That was his vision. So we have classes for children, toddlers. It is called Shishu Vihar. Then for children, we have Bal Vihar. For youth, we have Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, CHYK. For mothers, we have Devi group. For adults, we have study class, study group. And for senior citizens, we have Vanaprastha Sansthan. So these are our grassroots activities of Chinmaya Mission. Right from 1951 onwards, we picked it up, and slowly, different wings came up that way. And most of it was personally monitored by Gurudev himself, and saw to it that it gave a study syllabus for each group. What are the books the children should read? What are the books the teenagers should read? Hindu Shastra. How it should be interpreted to them. And what are the books the adults should read? What are the basic values we should take? Now this we have across Bharat and across world. We have more than 300 centers around the globe. So if you're asking me what is the population of our following, I won't be able to say that. But at any given point of time, only in our Chinmaya Vidyalayas, schools which we run, at any given point of time, only in our academic educational institutes, we must be having more than 1 lakh in Bharat only.
Oh.
At any given point of time. I'm not taking the alumni who have passed out. Current would be at any point of time. There should be 1 lakh of students studying. And Chinmaya Vidyalaya is another thing which Gurudev started, which is a school where we have a combination of academic and spirituality combined. So it's a very beautiful structured method of teaching Paravidya and Aparavidya at the level which a child can grasp. So in our schools, we have a very beautiful concept called Chinmaya Vision Program, CVP, Chinmaya Vision Program. What we do in Chinmaya Vision is when a guy comes to our institute, these are the 7 areas we touch. First is the physical, the health, the look, the grooming of the body, using of energy, fitness, body. Second is emotions, physical transformation, emotional transformation. Second, how do we manage emotions? How do we respond to success? How do we respond to failure? How do we respond to guilt? Or what should we do about anger? The academics don't teach us all this. So second is emotional level of educating, transformation. Third is intellectual, creating the curiosity in a child to know, intellectual. Fourth is spiritual. Fifth is culture. Spiritual, we directly teach Gita. In our schools, we teach Vedantic texts directly. And then is culture. We teach them why do we do various things in Hindu culture. How ancient is this Hindu culture? A child gets pride. That's the 5th part of it, Hindu culture. 6th is patriotism.
Beautiful.
Nationalism should be there.
Beautiful.
Because I told you in the pledge itself, he has told us,
exactly.
Service to the country is the service to the Lord of Lords. So we teach them patriotism. 6th is the Hindu vision of universal. Sanatan vision is universal vision. So we teach them how we are one, how the creator and the created are divine, how the globe is one family, how the resources, like whether it is plants or various resources which are there, which is absolutely universal. So the final level is giving them a universal vision. So physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, cultural, patriotism, universal outlook. These 7 would be covered in our books. And we have been doing this for almost 50 plus years in our field of education. And and we are happy to see that similar ideas are there in the new education policy, which also covers all this, and they're calling it Panchakosha method, which is something similar to what Chinmaya Mission has been doing.
Amazing.
So these are some of the grassroots activities and education. Apart from that, we have monasteries where people like us get trained. We have one school in Chennai which is called Hariyara School, which was Gurudev's vision. In this school, we teach children. The school is up to 10th standard, academic education. And from 6th standard, we teach them skills, vocational training. So the child learns the gets occasionally trained, at least 2 skills in a year. So by the time the child passes out of the school at 10th, would be, empowered with few skills. Each skill would be a source of income. So the vision is the villagers don't have to rush to the city and get crushed. They can find income in their own village. So we teach regular education plus skill development. This is our Hariyara school, and this was again his vision. So these are some of the activities. And we have a huge publication. If you look at Chinmaya Mission, we have a great publication. We have contributed through audio, video also. And today, Chinmaya Mission is like a think tank. We suggest, like recently we made a history book called Radiant Bharat, Resilient Bharat, Resurgent Bharat. Now these are the 3 books which we brought out, and we worked in partnership with Vidya Bharati. Now this, like Vidya Bharati and Chinmaya Mission sat together and we wrote history from our perspective, how it should be. There was Bharat which was once radiant. Then there was this Bharat which was attacked. And when they attacked, we were resilient. Not that we opened the pathway. So we were resilient. The people who were resilient to the attacks, they are highlighted. And now the Bharat which is now on the resurgence. So this history is being taught, and which is taken for 6th, 7th, 8th. So we play today also like a think tank. We have created our own value education books. Today we are working in collaboration with few organizations, like DAV has recently come on board, Vidya Bharati, Chinmaya Mission. We are working on making a syllabus which will go in line with what NCERT brings up. At least up to 8th standard will be totally our vision. So Chinmaya Mission is also a think tank today.
And Swamiji, I've seen, you work a lot, with the children and for the youth, especially. Can you a little bit enlighten us, what kind of work and how you're taking this mission forward of Gurudev while you're working and, initiating various programs, for the youth and and you are so much full with it, always you are so dedicated. Would you share with us, what kind of work you do with them?
Yeah, see, Sanatan Dharma, if you see, one of the basic principles of Sanatan Dharma was adventure. People didn't see it that way. Imagine at Ramayan time, there was Tirtha Yatra. In Mahabharat time, there was Tirtha Yatra. Buddha's time, there was Tirtha Yatra. Shankara's time, there was Tirtha Yatra. Tirtha Yatra is a kind of an adventure. Imagine people living in Tamil Nadu have to go to Kashi. And what was the transport those days? Horse, bullock cart, walk.
Absolutely.
Now if you go to Kashi from Tamil Nadu by foot, 2,000 kilometers?
Can't imagine.
Covering 25 kilometers a day?
Absolutely.
You are every day in a new place, new people, new culture, new language, new food habits. Tirtha Yatra was a big spiritual activity which created a sense to explore. So Sanatan Dharma were great explorers in the beginning. The Hindus, if you look, they were great explorers. We want to explore the moon. What it is, what are the stars doing? What is their impact? And we did travel across high seas. So the spirit of exploration or adventure was very much part of Hindu system. It's part of Hindu DNA. So I have seen my guru also doing Tirtha Yatra. There's a fascinating book called My Trek to Uttarakhand, where Gurudev penned about his journey through Chardham. And his guru, that is our Paramaguru, Tapovan Maharaj, has written books on wanderings in the Himalayas. So Tirtha Yatra was something which had a big impact on Hindu mind. And it's a great spirit of adventure, which gives you spirit to go and explore new things. Imagine this sense of exploration made our Hindus explore into high seas. And that's how we had 32% of GDP. People traveled across high seas, merchant navy.
We were the first sea traders.
Sea traders, you understand. All that comes from that spirit of adventure. So in Sanatan Dharma, adventure was part of it. So what we do today is much more levels lower to what the adventure was in the past. So I strongly believe that we have to reach out to youth. We need to teach them to explore new ideas, explore new methods, explore new lands, travel, go. When a child travels from Chennai, let's say I do a camp in Himachal Pradesh, where we have a good ashram, Siddhabari. I take a group of youngsters, let's say 400 youngsters from Chennai. We go, on our way we stop in Agra, get down and take them to Mathura, Vrindavan.
Oh.
So they go in the morning, Mathura, Vrindavan, they come back, board the train again. Another train which would come, break journey you take, and this train takes you to Pathankot. So we go to Pathankot and then go to Siddhabari. That's 3 hours drive from Pathankot. In the foothills of the Himalayas, we have a camp. On our return, we take them to Amritsar. They visit Jallianwala Bagh. And we take them to Hatari border, where they see our Jawans bringing the flag ceremony. And then also visit Golden Temple, and we speak to them about Guru Nanak. And mainly I talk to them more about Guru Gobind Singh. And then on our way back, we visit Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra today is much more developed. I've seen Kurukshetra in late 80s, absolutely in shambles.
Yeah.
Can you believe? Where Bhagavad Gita is given in this land, that temple is in shambles. So when these youngsters come there and I say, this Gita is our life heartbeat. We teach Gita. Chinmaya Mission stands on it. Gurudev is known for Gita. Om Gita Jnana Yajna Pracharakaya Namaha. And look at this place. So they get that feeling that I also need to do something. If a place like Kurukshetra is in shambles, where is Bharat? So it's a package of spiritual knowledge, national culture, all that comes inside through a travel. And we make them do. We say, okay, if you're interested, you want to break fear, walk on fire. If you want to do, like I have made them do skydive, bungee jumping. I have done myself with them and different things, So they do learn. So it's a combination. And I think I hit the formula to work with the youth. And that's what I share with all our members in Chinmaya Mission as well as other Hindu organizations. I tell them the formula to work with youth is make them do what you want, but the way in which they like doing it. Full stop. That's the formula.
Amazing.
Make them do what you want, the way in which they like doing it.
Like Gurudev did with you. The
Same.
escort, he allowed you to be his escort.
Chip of the same block, obviously. I mean, whatever I picked it up from him only. And in fact, he's the one who encouraged us. This is quite, like a slap on the face. Must have been 17, 18 years, my age and my team in Chennai that time. We all went to a place called Thamaraipakam. That's around 35 kilometers from Chennai, on bicycle. 35 up, 35 down, 70 kilometers for someone who has never did this before is something which is really nice. And we felt very nice that we did go to Thamaraipakam and we came back. So naturally we have a monthly report or an annual report. So in the annual report this came, the chick did a cycle rally. Chick is Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, CHYK. Did a cycle rally to Thamaraipakam. So this was being read in front of Gurudev. When he was in Chennai, the report was being read and they read this, that the Chinmaya Yuva Kendra members, boys went to Thamaraipakam, they came back and it was a cycle rally. As the guy was reading the report, Gurudev's sense of humor and wit is impeccable. He looked and he said, shh, don't say it loudly. Shh, don't say it loudly. I mean, why? What happened? The milkman does it daily. With 2 cans of milk, you went on an empty bicycle. And he does it with 2 cans of milk up and down daily. You call this adventure? If you guys go to Himalayas on motorcycle, then report.
Amazing.
Now you see the man. No, I mean, this was a direct experience for us. And we did a Himalayan rallies after that. We did Chardham on motorcycle, we went to Leh Ladakh on motorcycle. We have done a national rally on motorcycle. But this was the starting point. You see that he did not allow us to think small and stop small. He said, Thamaripakam 35 kilometers the milkman does, and that you come here and report it. Do it if you're doing it to Himalayas.
Amazing.
So that's where we picked it up. And anyone who has worked with youth with reasonable success, I'm sure they would have adopted spirituality, adventure as part of spiritual unfoldment.
Prachyam is about dedicating to revive our rich cultural heritage, the essence of Bharat. We are bringing to life the echoes of our glorious past.
We need organizations like Prachyam.
It is old as well as the new rise.
प्राच्यम हिंदू के गौरव की गाथा गाता है।
60 साल में हमने जो खोया विरासत के रूप में, संस्कृति के रूप में, उसको वापस लाने का काम कर रहे हैं।
Our mission goes beyond creating content. We are sparking a cultural renaissance.
प्राच्यम एक उत्तिष्ठत का नाद है।
हिंदू समाज को जोड़ने के लिए और सच्चाई दिखाने का काम प्राच्यम द्वारा हो रहा है।
कई दशकों की एक आवश्यकता को प्राच्यम पूरा कर रहा है।
Prachyam is putting out is an urgent civilization imperative.
गुलामी की मानसिकता अगर कहीं पर भी अंदर धसी हुई हो ना, उसको उखाड़ फेंकने का काम प्राच्यम का कंटेंट करता है।
Launching the world's first Hindu OTT platform is just the beginning. We have much more to achieve.
पूरा जन सत्य से, तथ्य से और यथार्थ से परिचित होगा।
आपका ये प्रयत्न ईश्वर की आराधना ही है।
काउंटर नैरेटिव का आंदोलन आरंभ हो चुका है।
Prachyam is doing an excellent job to give you knowledge which you don't get in school.
I absolutely love it.
I'm very happy to be a part of the Prachyam family.
I extend my best wishes to you and your entire team.
एक बहुत बड़ी सनातन की सेवा हुई है, उसके लिए मैं हृदय से प्राच्यम का अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
Your support can turn this vision into reality.
Prachyam.
Prachyam is doing a very good job.
We Sanatanis need Prachyam.
People are going back to their roots.
It's important for our country.
Arm yourself with the knowledge.
It's almost like a movement.
This is a visionary endeavor.
प्राच्यम को सफलता के लिए साधुवाद।
Amazing job.
Strongly recommend do your contribution.
Support them, subscribe them.
By donating to Prachyam, you are just not giving. You are investing in our culture, our future, and our children.
Reaching out to the people with the results of the research, I wish them all the very best.
Join us on this journey. Donate today and become part of a timeless legacy.
Swamiji, while you undertake these programs for the youth, and full of adventure, and so many activities, what I wanted to know from you is, because Prachyam is a very youth-centric OTT and youth-centric, platform. A lot of youth and a lot of youth from Chinmaya Mission, they watch Prachyam videos. What are the challenges, you face? When you are dealing with the young people, or when you are guiding them, or when you're taking them around, what are the challenges that you face?
If you have to work with youth, you should be well informed first. You must be updated on what's happening with the world. You need to know geopolitics, and you need to know what is South Korea's influence on our youngsters. You need to know that. The South Korean movies, let's say, or anything, or the OTT platforms, because our youngsters are exposed to that totally. Above that, you have to inspire them. Above that, you have to turn them around. So if you have to approach, you have to be update. You want to be a teacher who want to work with youth, anyone for that matter, whoever wishes to work with youth, my suggestion to you is first update yourself with what's happening in the world. Then you can pick up those examples and refer saying, what is Gita's standard of life and what are you looking at? People connect better. And if I have worked with youth, 30, 40 years now, I would say I never operated on preaching mode. I've learned this from my guru. It's like, don't preach. So I won't preach youngsters. I would discuss, bring up. And the best way would be, you should make them learn. Facilitate that they learn, then you teach. So, like for example, if I want some youngsters to learn Kathopanishad, and I say I'm going to teach Kathopanishad, they're not going to come to me at all. A Kathopanishad, they won't even know what that is and where. But suppose you make them do a script, a street play on death, or a theatre on death. Now they research on Kathopanishad. And then they'll have questions. Why Lord Yama said this to Nachiketa? Then you take a class, then they are ready to connect with you much better. So you must know the methods by which you can inspire them to learn on their own. We can't teach them. Those who get this formula right, that you should make a youngster learn on his own, then you preaching, then the youngsters would be with you. Amazing. Like for example, we did a program way back in 2001 or something, called Awakening Indians to India. More than 285,000 children, youth, participated in this quiz. And it's a book we brought out, and Dr. Kalam wrote the foreword for the book. This entire project was with the youngsters. My job was just to assemble them together, bring them together and saying, listen, we need to do a quiz nationwide about Bharat. Bring out a book which will have more than 500 facts of Bharat. Now they did the research. And I said, look at these disciplines you should take. I need some people on the revolutionary side. I need some people on the art, on the scriptural side, on science. We gave them some 20-25 topics of Bharat, ancient to now. And they did. Found. I'm saying in 2000 you don't have internet to do research. You have to really go to the libraries and do. So these guys did that. Now, collecting around 1,000 facts of Bharat for a set of youngsters is a great learning. You have actually made them love Bharat. And they picked it up. And once they had 1,000 facts, we said, we'll make a book more than 500 facts. A book was made, and this book was given as quiz. And we didn't stop. Imagine conducting a national quiz for a young team to organize youngsters. What is their scale of learning? To coordinate across Bharat into different states and different schools and colleges. The vision was wide, vast, expanded. And they reached 285,000 people. It was a fascinating job for a youngster to get involved in a project like that. And this project, this quiz came for 13 weeks in ZTV. And now to create an episode for ZTV, now you are now in the media, you know, if these guys have to create 13 episodes, what kind of questions? How do you format a quiz? And where do you get the sponsor for all that? So whether it is finance management, whether it is creativity, whether it is content development, you give them a project, facilitate them with a vision, they will learn by themselves. I don't preach. I make them learn.
So you said, your style of teaching, which is not preaching at all.
Yeah.
You become a youth yourself when you're dealing with them, and you think like them. Amazing. Can you share some anecdote, of your style of, teaching, or your style of sharing, all this perspective and knowledge with the youth, which had a very profound impact on a particular person or a group?
Anyone who wants to work with youth, you should be unpredictable in the first place. If you are predictable, they know what you do. So when you stay unpredictable, then they are like, oh, okay. And if you're creatively unpredictable, then they like your style. So if you're working with youth, you should be creatively unpredictable. They won't know what's your next move. Like for example, I was doing a text called Narada Bhakti Sutra for youngsters, okay? And this camp was in somewhere in Uttarakasi. We have an ashram in Uttarakasi, there I was doing it, Narada Bhakti Sutra. There's a beautiful portion in the Narada Bhakti Sutra which says, who crosses Maya? Kastarati, Kastarati Maya. And Narad Rishi will say, Ya Sangam Tyajati, O Mahanubhavanu Sevate, Nirmamo Bhavati, Nirahankara. He will go on giving 11 points, 12 points. Who will cross Maya? These guys, Satarati Maya. So it's a one sutra. First is a question and then is an answer. So I want these guys to learn the 12 points. I said, I'll ask you. They were like, okay, we'll see. Youngsters after all. They were not actually learning. From Uttarakasi, when we were coming down, we came to, before Rishikesh, there's a place where you have this whitewater rafting, which was part of our camp.
Oh.
Kodali and all that. We had this whitewater rafting, was part of our camp. So all these guys are excited to do rafting. And I stood before the raft, and like we were 300 or something, so many rafts have to come. And I stood there and I said, those who know these 12 points will sit on the raft.
How many qualified?
Everybody. Now you take the book and read.
Okay.
I give you 15, 20 minutes, memorize the 12. I want the Sanskrit Sutra as well as the English translation. Now these guys were like, we thought like, let's see what happens in Uttarakasi. And then if I say, you don't eat lunch there, no worry. You give them little tasks, it's okay. This is their excitement point. And all of them want to talk about rafting. And I said, if you can only tell who crosses Maya, you can sit on it. Everybody memorized. I put a team of we have a program, I'll tell about it, youth empowerment program. So we call them Yuva Veers. We made them sit and said, recite. You recite about the boat. So they knew that if they want to do rafting, they have to tell me this clearly. So there's a way. And actually, end of it, they liked it. They felt, okay, you could stump 300 people together and make us do finally, that way. So they liked it. So you need to be unpredictable and creative. I was telling you about one of the wings of the mission when you said the Chinmaya Mission activities. One we started is called Youth Empowerment Program, YEP. YEP it is called. And we have done 14 batches till now. More than 600 plus youngsters have graduated through this program. It is a call for young graduates, and they would be given cultural, spiritual leadership training program, and it is residential training for 75 days. 75 days they are trained on cultural, spiritual leadership. And they'll read few books like Bhaja Govindam, Hanuman Chalisa, few chapters of Gita, and various leadership lessons, few bits of chanting, a little bit of Sanskrit, all that these guys learn. 75 days, and then we send them to serve the country for a year. So they're posted in different parts of the country, and some people even abroad. So we send them, and where they have to take classes for the youth, classes for children. So these guys will go and talk. So it's much more better. I found it, not all sannyasins or spiritual people know the art of talking to youth. Not all do it, because it's not their domain. Neither do they have that interest. Some could be very, very good with adults. Some could be very, very good with intense seekers. But some people, for them, dealing with youth may not be their forte. And so when a person is forced to do that job and that's not your forte, you fail miserably. So we were said, we need to do something where people can go and inspire youth without this color. So they should be dressed like you. So we said, let's do this program. Youth empowerment came up that way. So to train young leaders who can go inspire youth with their color of clothes. So if a person who's a young graduate, he should be 20, 21 years. going back and teaching a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old is more keen to learn. But this guy can have that knowledge who's just a little elder to me, even I can understand. So this program is called Youth Empowerment.
Oh, very nice.
Those who graduate this are called Yuvaveers. So we have done 14 batches of this, and it's a very impactful one. And the next batch, Swami Anukulananda, one of the monks of Chinmaya Mission, he is going to conduct this, and that will be the 15th batch of Youth Empowerment Program on June 10th. So it's a call to all the youngsters. If you want to be trained on leadership based on spiritual and cultural training, do apply for this. Details can be found in Chinmaya Mission website.
So the young audience listening to this, as Swamiji said, if you want to be part of this program, definitely apply, and I'm sure your life will go through a great, beautiful transformation. So coming back to you, Swamiji, we live in a very fast-paced, very materialistic world, where you'll find the imprints of Maya, materialism, almost everywhere, on everything. So definitely the youth and the children, they when they are brought up in such an environment, the Maya has an influence, the materialism has an influence on them. But what is your approach? How, you kind of inspire them to slow down and, to understand, what is spirituality, do some introspection on that, and to have, to lead a very inspired life.
See, you and I take birth to exhaust our vasanas, desires. Otherwise, we won't take birth. The fact that we are born is only to exhaust the vasana, the desire. And the desires can be crazy. It has to be sublimated and channelized well. So it's not against desire. It has to be, we have to teach the child moderation. So brahmacharya means not just celibacy. Brahmacharya means moderation. Sleeping excess is against the principles of brahmacharya. Eating excess is against the principles of brahmacharya. It's not just celibacy. So we have to teach people moderation, and with youth, moderation is very important. And youngsters appreciate moderation when you tell them, listen, this is okay. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Kama, you have to enjoy life. You're born to enjoy life. Celebrate life. But celebrate it in such a way that it doesn't hit you hard. There are so many ways to be happy. Choose the sattvic methods, which are harmless. So when we guide them better ways to be happy, they listen to you. And we tell them, practice moderation. Gurudev used to give one example, which is a powerful example. If we go to Ganga, let's say in Haridwar or Rishikesh, to take a dip, and in Haridwar particularly the river is wide, you can get carried away by the currents. So in those bathing ghats, you have that chain.
For your safety.
You hold on to the chain.
Yeah, you hold on to it. Yeah, absolutely.
You can take a dip. You understand? You hold on to the chain, you can take a dip and you come back. You are actually taking a dip in the river, but your grip is on the chain. You're safe. This is what the youth has to understand. They should be anchored in their values. They should be anchored in their samskaras. They should be anchored on certain qualities, certain values which they should not compromise. Hanging on to that, you go take a dip, no issues. Hanging on to that, you go play with the world, moderation, no harm. So Maya has to be handled very intelligently. And you keep telling them, keep away, and then they're suppressed. And it will burst somewhere else. So you have to guide them moderation, and your grip should be on the chain so that the current of the river doesn't take you away. You can dip and you can still come back. That's the way to play with Maya till you really establish. So this has to be guided correctly to them. So if they are spiritually anchored,
very well said.
You can play the game. Maya cannot be that big an influence on you. You will not get carried away. You will certainly not be an addict. You know to play the game of the moderation.
Absolutely. Being anchored is very important. Being anchored to your roots, to your ethos, to your culture, to the values. It's so, and as a marine officer, I can relate with it, because if you are amongst the reefs, or in the proximity of danger, near the land, the most safe thing for a ship to do is to anchor. And even if any storm comes, nothing is going to happen to you. But if you're not anchored, then you're at the mercy of the storm, at the mercy of the waves. And it can ground you, beach you, damage you, destroy you. So that is the importance of being anchored,
Correct. There's a verse in the Gita, chapter 2. Krishna says that. If you're not anchored, you will be forcibly carried away.
Very well said. I'm so much enjoying this conversation with you, Swamiji. It's so enlightening for me also. You get to learn so much. This is really, I'm feeling so blissful talking to you.
Sailors. So there's a lot of commonality.
Absolutely. Swamiji, since the purpose of this podcast is to enlighten the youth, with the right perspective. And this is what I feel, because as a youngster, before I met my guru, I had this deep quest to know about Bharat, its culture, its philosophy, its sciences. But unfortunately, and those were the days when there was no internet. And these things were never part of, the educational curriculum. So I have gone through, and this deep desire in me was there, to find a guru who could guide me. And I was blessed to find a guru. But what I want to ask you is that what is the role of spirituality? What is the role of a guru to, seek guidance from a guru for a youth, to work towards, in general, in nation building, especially in a very diverse country like Bharat?
See, this guru is a very sensitive topic because not all who teach are gurus, but they can still teach. So everyone who wears a spiritual attire not necessarily have to be a guru. So the best advice for the youngsters would be, don't accept anybody as a guru till you have actually tested them out. See them, follow, and there too, when you take up somebody as a teacher, see them as a teacher guiding you. Don't take that person to the place of worship. Don't take the new age people who come, unless you have tested them, don't jump the gun. Don't put them in your altar. That's not a wise thing to do. Look at them like someone who has taught you, someone who has mentored you. And as you progress deeply in it, at some point of time, you may actually recognize the role of that particular teacher who guided you at that point of time in life. And there could be someone else guiding you later. Because the people like Swami Shivananda, or people like Adi Shankara, or Gurudev, or Vivekananda, they are one in a millennia. So best would be you appreciate knowledge, you connect with some teacher who guides you, follow the teaching, don't follow the teacher. And don't take the teacher to the altar. Because suppose you find the other man was clay-footed, then your faith shatters. So you can appreciate knowledge given to you by somebody, but don't place their, take them to your altar. Let the altar be your mother, father. Let the altar have Ishta Devatas, Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Devi, Saraswati, Lakshmi. Unless you have really tested a teacher, we should not. And once you have really tested and you're matured enough, spiritual clarity I'm talking about, then that gratitude will make you feel, he's the teacher who came, who opened it, And the teacher, by then, since you have spiritually matured, you will be able to understand the exact role of a teacher.
Do you know Bharat was made victim of conspiracies, censorship, and ideological subversions? We all have suffered a lot. Let's end it now. We bring to you Prachyam, an unapologetic video platform for Hindus. Protect your family from false narratives about Bharat. Documentaries, classes, shows that you will not find on YouTube.
Prachyam.
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 Give power to the Hindu voice for the cost of one coffee. Subscribe now at prachyam.com.
This advice I'm giving you because that's the advice my guru told me. I was with him once. I was taking him on a wheelchair when he got close to 75, 76 years. Gurudev was not able to walk, so he'll use a wheelchair sometimes, not always. So some places long walk. So in Siddhabari ashram, I was taking him on a wheelchair. We stopped the wheelchair because he was checking on one Ram Mandir there. He wanted to see something. Then suddenly he looked at me and he said, "Hey, do you do japa?" Strange question. Why is he asking me? Do you do japa? I said, yes, Swamiji. I mean, yeah. What mantra? He's never asked any questions like that. This is like little personal actually. On what mantra? Because in Chinmaya Mission we don't give mantra diksha. We don't do that at all. We bring a person comes here to us, learns and he feels the knowledge is inspiring. He gets initiated into knowledge without a ritual. The Jnana Yajna itself was an initiation. So in Chinmaya Mission we don't give anybody mantra diksha. So obviously, I know even Gurudev has not given us mantra diksha. So he asked, on which mantra? I was still a teenager. I mean, I was still alive. Didn't even go to Sandipani that time. So he said, on which mantra? I'm like, how to tell him that I'm meditating on your name, your mantra. Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namah, Om Chinmayaya Namah. I was like, how do I tell this man in front of me is asking? And I'm worshipping or taking his name and he's asking and I'm like slightly embarrassed. How do I say this? And then I told Gurudev, it's your name. Straight he told me, never meditate on a living Guru. See that person's love and compassion. He said, never meditate on a living Guru. And then I was like, why is he saying that? Because that's what I've been doing. He said, the Guru can slip, but he can get up and walk away fast. Because what are small slips in a spiritual path? You fall, you can get up and go. But the faith of the follower can be destroyed. And that will be long time to recover. So never meditate upon a living Guru. So we should keep this in mind. Don't take unless you have tested the person. And testing, what I say, is not 1 or 2 years. Testing, I'm saying, take time, a decade maybe. Analyze the person, look at that person from all angles. And then if you're still convinced that this is really noble, then he can get into your altar. Otherwise, just look at him as a person, a spiritual mentor who just helped you. Don't put them into that position of Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. That's meant for rare few people. So it's like, like there are, when we learn, so many teachers have inspired us. Some of them are spiritual, but otherwise in English class, a teacher who comes and teaches you English poetry has also inspired people sometime. So different people come and inspire us, so you just keep them for that value, that everybody who inspires you, don't put them in your altar. So that clarity should be there.
Swamiji, what, in your experience, you found, are the biggest challenges which are faced by the Indian youth, and how have you been able to help them?
Their attention time is very minimum. Their memory is also very minimum, except of deep relationships. Otherwise, their memory is very short-lived. So they can get distracted too quickly. Too much of influence on them through social media, through OTT, all kinds of influence come there, and our youngsters don't realize that this influence is not healthy. They are out there probably to break your family. These influences would probably speak about individuality and break the family. When you disconnect from your family, you have to depend on the establishment. The family gives you strength to be together. So the oak influence, which the youngsters go through, they don't realize they're coming there to just break your family and put you out, stand alone there. How to guard against oak is an important topic, which we do speak when we have sessions. We do talk them, saying, is this right? Is this right? We bring out and make them analyze. Some of them get it. So a lot of talks have to happen to them, and we have to connect. Suppose you bring in a value, let us say, Advaita Sarvabhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha from 12th chapter. Krishna tells Arjuna, my devotee is not capable of hating anybody. Advaita Sarvabhutana. Towards all beings, my devotee has no hatred. He's telling this to Arjuna, who wanted to run away from a battlefield. To him, he's saying, stay in the battlefield. Fight this war without hatred. You fight this war without sense of revenge, because it's inevitable, and we tried methods to stop. Now dharma needs to be supported. So you enter the war, fight without hatred. You can actually take an arrow and shoot without hatred. Now what kind of a teaching is this? So what is dharma we should do? We can't become overtly sentimental and allow yourself to get kicked. So when the right methods we adopt to teach, they get it. And the only hope which is happening today was, I could see the difference in the last 10 years. Certainly a big shift has happened. Youngsters are eager to learn today. Hindu culture. They're proud. They talk. Either they are connected to Ramayana, they can proudly put it on their sleeves. So there's a lot of anchoring which has happened in 10 years, which was never before. So that's a very positive thing. And we need to tell, some people come and destroy your festivals. Any Hindu festival is being attacked. Like for example, let's say Deepavali. 116, is it 1.16 is our thing. We have 1 billion 0.16 is our population, correct? In that, let us say 900 million are Hindus. And for Diwali, you buy new clothes. Even the maid who works in your house buys new clothes. So everyone buys new clothes. What would be the minimum amount you spend for new clothes? Even someone at the lower strata?
I mean, at least $1,000. Yeah.
Now you look at 900 million
people, yeah.
1 billion, let us say.
1 billion, yeah.
1 billion in 2000, only clothes.
Oh my God.
Lakshmi Puja, Deepavali. You see the circulation of money? What about flowers? What about sweets? What about crackers? What about gifts? How much do you think people spend for Deepavali? I've heard 20% more is the consumption for Deepavali than normal consumption of anything. Now 20% more is what a boost in economy. Now Hindu festival keeps the money in circulation of this stature. Durga Puja in Bengal, how much money goes on building up the pandals? How much money is spent? We have to check their GDP and see how much this supports. Hindu economy this is. Or Shankaranti. And who are the benefits? In Shankaranti, the farmer benefits with sugar canes. In South India, sugar canes are sold. The farmer crop is sold in the name of God. Sugar canes are sold, turmeric plants are sold, and we buy a small drum and we buy a damaru and a drum for bogi in South. A population of a state buys that. The cobbler or the guy who works with leather, he's benefited. So each festival caters to different people. Different members in the community are benefited. So Hindu festivals are serving the nation economically by keeping the money in circulation. Any economist will tell you money should be in circulation, and we are circulating in the name of God. What about the temple economy? What about Tirtha Yatra? Tirtha Yatra is almost 60% of travel economy comes from Tirtha Yatra. Now you see Hindu economy, and the festival should be celebrated, and these guys come and destroy your festival. At every festival they have a problem. Basically these guys want to. So when you explain how a particular festival benefits the nation at large, and we have lots of festival every month. Shankaranti in January, Shivaratri in February, Ram Janmabhoomi in March, Ugadi, New Year in April. It goes on, isn't it? Guru Purnima, Vinayak Chaturthi, Ganesh Chaturthi, Krishna Jayanti, Navaratri, Deepavali, again the whole circle, Kartika Deepam, and every full moon we celebrate. All that keeps the economy in circulation. I strongly believe as long as Hindus celebrate their festivals, Indian economy will not go in recession. This was the Rishi's vision. So when we put these facts correctly, the Hindu youth gets awakened. Then he'll understand saying, this is important. Someone is trying to destroy you, someone is trying to disconnect your root, and there's someone trying to break you away from your family.
Beautiful, very well said.
So they get this point. So this is a challenge that the youth has to be rightly addressed. Because otherwise they're breaking away from their family, breaking away from their roots. And when you're out of your family and out of your roots, you can get converted.
So very rightly said, Swamiji. And this is the intent of these anti-Bharat forces around the world, that they want to actually dismantle Hinduism, our values, our culture, our festivals, our economy, which is, as you rightly said, which is so closely linked, with these festivals, with these celebrations of life that we believed in. And if the youth and the Bharati around the world, if they are given the right perspective, I'm sure, we will never allow this to happen, with us. Just one more thing, because I know a shift is happening, and, people like you have played such an important role in making this shift happen. But still, the fact of the matter is, Swamiji, that we are still living with the same education system which was imposed on us by the Britishers. We still have the same colonial mindset that we are living with. The education system primarily has got this British imprints, which was, to become clerks, to become, servants, to, earn money, to have big packages, big salaries. And, this is what drives them. They can't see a larger purpose of life, which obviously, when people come to you or to your youth camps, they see the right perspective, the purpose of life. How do you deal with such youth, who has, gone through this education system, who has been given this only aim, to, give competitions, qualify in them, then, do that particular curriculum, then get, big packages from the big corporates and earn this, big salaries and big money, versus living a meaningful, purposeful life. And as you said, as Gurudev said, to think of the nation, always in whatever you do. How do you deal and how do you handle, youth coming to you with this perspective, and how you enlighten their lives with the right perspective?
Going back to the earlier discussion we had on festivals, the festival is Lakshmi Narayan concept. Lakshmi, prosperity, Narayan, spirituality. Every festival of us has a spiritual message, and every festival of ours adds to prosperity. So Hindu festivals play a vital role in keeping Bharat together, Hindus together. Same with Tirtha Yatra. Like I said, 60% of the travel economy is from Tirtha Yatra. It also keeps the nation together. It is because the guy living in Rameshwaram who goes to Kashi, identifies with Bharat, or the guy living in Gujarat goes to Kamakya, or the person living in Bengal goes to Amarnath. So this Tirtha Yatra also kept Bharat together. So Tirtha Yatra, festivals, and festivalize, I told you, spirituality and prosperity combined. These are vital things. So youngsters have to be guided correctly on this. Now coming back to this question you asked. This problem which we are facing is a very ancient problem. It's not just new. It's been there ancient. Let me explain. You know, the Vedas are very important for us, the Vedic knowledge, and that knowledge was stolen away by Hayagrivan. And Matsya Avatar, after saving the earth from waters, the ship, another part of Matsya Avatar is to go and bring the Vedas back. Vishnu in the form of fish brought the Vedas back. The lost knowledge was brought back. Take the main knowledge away, the people are destroyed. Bring back the basic knowledge, which is Vedic, Brahma Vidya, bring it back, people progress. So we must keep this Vedic knowledge or Brahma Vidya, systematically keep handing it over to the generation and the generation and the generation. Whenever we move away from it, we are lost. Okay. Kamsa in Bhagavatam, if you see, Kamsa, he wanted to kill the 8th child, which is Krishna, and already the baby was swapped. So when Kamsa goes into the jail, Krishna was already gone to Yashoda's house, and Yogamaya has come there, and he picks up the young child and tries to fling the child in the wall. And his hand becomes numb, and the child slips out of his hand and walks away. I mean, he's trying to fling Maya, you don't do it. So it slipped out of his hand, the baby goes out of the window smiling. And then he heard a voice saying, "Your destroyer was born elsewhere." This is what he heard. So next day he calls up a meeting of his council. Pralamba, Pradyumna, there were a few people that way, and Bahuka, Putana, they were all sitting there in his council. So he called them and he says, this happened last night. The 8th child we planned to kill escaped. And I heard a voice that your killer is already born. Your destroyer is already born elsewhere. So then he says, what does this mean? So the court advisor Pralamba will say, I think it is a warning we should listen. We should obey the gods now. I'll say, no, I mean, Kamsa was not paying much attention. Then he'll tell Putana, go kill the children born last 1 week or last 1 month. Kill all of them. And then he'll turn towards Bahuka, who was in Kamsa's court. And he'll ask Bahuka, Bahuka, you advise. And who's Bahuka? Bahuka is Jarasandha's man. Jarasandha's daughters, 2 of them got married to Kamsa. So Jarasandha sent Bahuka to Kamsa's court. Go and stay in Mathura, be his advisor. And best of the Magad warrior he was. And he was sent to Kamsa's court. So Kamsa will ask Bahuka, tell me, what is your say? He'll say, sir, a good leader would kill this hope quickly. He won't keep this hope alive. That your destroyer is born elsewhere. That he is going to come. Someone will come and deliver people from this sorrow. That hope has to be destroyed. A good leader will destroy that hope. Bahuka's advice first. But this hope is maintained. Then he'll say, but this hope is maintained by sages and saints and the wise people of that time. Brahmanas, let's say. They maintain this thing that the deliverer will come, an avatar will come, or somebody will come. That hope is maintained. So let's buy them off. So Bahuka will tell Kamsa, you can't buy sages. The ascetics you can buy, they dropped everything. Neither you can corrupt them or you can buy them. The Brahmins, maybe you can buy them, but in their heart they'll worship only those saints. You may gift them something, but in their heart they'll worship the saints. So that also won't work. So this hope will be maintained. So you can't throw them out of your country, because if you throw them out, wherever they go, they can raise an army to come and attack you. So Kamsa will be on wit's end and saying, what should I do? Bahuka will advise, open your purse, open your treasury, let money flow freely. Freebie culture. Give money freely. Then if you get free money, high packages without much effort, What do you do with the money? You get into drinking. So like today, drugs, that time it was alcohol. He said, Bahuka says, people will take up to alcohol, drinking. And once they get into drinking, now is the time you should destroy the family. Make the women understand pleasure is more important than all dharma. Break the family. Bahuka's advice. Break the family. Make the children disrespect the parents. Let the children look at parents as liability. When you do this, and the young ones looks at the old people, aged, as useless. Disrespect. If you have managed to do this, then these wise people, the sages, etc., if they speak about dharma, if they speak about values, spirituality, love, compassion, these people will laugh at them. They'll mock. This way, you can disengage sages and saints from the society. Their words will not have value if you take this route. This is a discussion in Bhagavad between Kamsa and Bahuka. Now you understand? There also Bahuka went, break the family. So then he says, once you break the family and people have become this way, they will depend on you like a helpless cattle. A cattle which has grown fat will depend on the shepherd helplessly. These guys will be like that, depending on you helplessly. Then they'll listen to you whatever you say. The whole idea is break the family, make you dependent on the establishments. This is the idea. Bahuka has given this, and today world, if you see, the oak or anything is fighting this. Macaulay, when he came, he adopted the same. These guys are all students of Bahuka Academy.
True.
See, we have Devas, Guru is Brihaspati, Asuras Guru is Shukracharya. So it's a war between these two. I'm telling you, Sanatan Dharma has the potential to fight this war, not other religions around. They don't have the depth to fight this war. We have fought this war. So final war will be between Sanatan and what you call as oak, let us say. And Sanatan will win because we have won it already. We know how to fight these guys. We have fought every time they came up. Imagine a state, the king is being discussed, and the king's approach is how to break the family. Kamsa. And his chief advisor is telling him, do all this, it will happen. And Kamsa says, yes, what you said is correct. It's a long-term goal, we will do it. But now Putana, go kill everybody. So it's a state policy, how to destroy a civilization. Have we not found such policies? Sanatan Dharma alone can fight it. So in the final war, we will smile. Because we fought this war in Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga or Dwapar. We fought this war, we'll fight again.
Amazing.
So this idea has to be told correctly to the youngsters. It's an old thing, they're coming down to hit you here. Make you a well-fed cattle who will depend on the state. So we teach, we bring this up to the youth and they understand.
You're saying that we will win the war, it gives a lot of hope, you know.
It is, of course. We have won it always in the past. Because we alone have the depth to fight it. The other religions don't have the depth to fight this. We have fought this in the past. We'll fight it again. And it's not new. It's a very old war. Coming back in different shapes. Is it not? You look at it. All the divides they make, you know, on the color of human race, racism, feminism, upper caste, lower caste, individual, family, climate change. You see the areas in which you have been attacked. All these are divisions. Satanism. Satanism is worshippers of gods are oppressors. I mean, so all this is a very ancient war. We have fought this. I am confident we will fight it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Swamiji. It was such a pleasure to have you here.
It's an honor to be part of Prachyam because it's a selfless work which you're doing. And that's the reason I said, no, we should come and do this. Because Prachyam has a great vision, which is actually, like what I said, the part 2. You are aspiring for awakened Bharat, and we are also looking at the same. So we're all in the same boat. And my greatest appreciation, admiration for the work what you have done so successfully. I'm so happy that I could also be part of your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. It's all divine grace and blessings from people like you. Thank you so much once again for coming to our show, The Changemakers. So today we had Swami Mitranand from Chinmaya Mission, a very proud disciple of a very great Guru, Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda. And I'm sure that the audience who have watched this episode of The Changemakers would definitely be inspired in their lives. And listening to Swami Mitranand would be a very great transformational experience for them. So do continue to watch our other episodes of Changemakers and all the films that we make. Do remember to log on to prachyam.com and subscribe to Prachyam OTT, the first Hindu OTT in the world. Do download our apps from the app stores and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching this episode with us. Namaskar.
Prachyam is about dedicating to revive our rich cultural heritage, the essence of Bharat. We are bringing to life the echoes of our glorious past.
We need organizations like Prachyam.
It is old as well as the new rise.
प्राच्यम हिंदू के गौरव की गाथा गाता है।
60 साल में हमने जो खोया विरासत के रूप में, संस्कृति के रूप में, उसको वापस लाने का काम कर रहे हैं।
Our mission goes beyond creating content. We are sparking a cultural renaissance.
प्राच्यम एक उत्तिष्ठत का नाद है।
हिंदू समाज में जोड़ने के लिए और सच्चाई दिखाने का काम प्राच्यम द्वारा हो रहा है।
कई दशकों की एक आवश्यकता को प्राच्यम पूरा कर रहा है।
Prachyam is putting out is an urgent civilization imperative.
गुलामी की मानसिकता अगर कहीं पर भी अंदर धसी हुई हो ना, उसको उखाड़ फेंकने का काम प्राच्यम का कंटेंट करता है।
Launching the world's first Hindu OTT platform is just the beginning. We have much more to achieve.
पूरा जन जन सत्य से, तथ्य से और यथार्थ से परिचित होगा।
आपका ये प्रयत्न ईश्वर की आराधना ही है।
काउंटर नैरेटिव का आंदोलन आरंभ हो चुका है।
Prachyam is doing an excellent job to give you knowledge which you don't get in school.
I absolutely love it.
I'm very happy to be a part of the Prachyam family.
I extend my best wishes to you and your entire team.
एक बहुत बड़ी सनातन की सेवा हो रही है, उसके लिए मैं हृदय से प्राच्यम का अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
Your support can turn this vision into reality.
Prachyam.
Prachyam is doing a very, very good job.
We Sanatanis need Prachyam.
People are going back to their roots.
It's important for our country.
Arm yourself with the knowledge.
It's almost like a movement.
This is a visionary endeavor.
प्राच्यम को सफलता के लिए साधुवाद।
Amazing job.
Strongly recommend do your contribution.
Support them, subscribe them.
By donating to Prachyam, you are just not giving. You are investing in our culture, our future, and our children.
Reaching out to the people with the results of the research, I wish them all the very best.
Join us on this journey. Donate today and become part of a timeless legacy.